news at 7. Ondo State's government clears gratuity backlog of retirees in local government primary school service. Tinubu seeks Senate's confirmation of Amupiton as substantive INEC chairman. Reps wade into ASU federal government disputes to end strike. From the foreign scene, Trump world leaders sign ceasefire deal at Egypt Peace Summit.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news on Osrc television. My name is Oyewumi Ayinibara. The present administration in Ondo State will not shirk its responsibility of prioritizing the welfare of retired workers and residents of the state towards promoting their wellness and well-being. Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa, while flagging off the payment of 1.4 billion naira gratuity arrears to pensioners who retired from the local government and primary school service in 2014, said the initiative is aimed at clearing the backlog of unpaid entitlement and restoring confidence among retirees. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details of the event.
It was another moment of dreams come true as 2014 retirees from the local government and primary schools in Ondo State gathered to receive the arrears of their gratuities. The ceremony at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure was the platform to disburse the 1.4 billion naira to the senior citizens. Setting the tone, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Amidu Takuro, praised the governor for introducing the pension saving initiative during his tenure as deputy governor, noting that it has made regular savings for gratuity payment possible.
We also made a vow that in every quarter we must make sure that we save good amount of money to the service of our pensioners in our district.
The head of service, Mr. Bayo Philip, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Adeniro Ikuomola, commended the governor for his compassion and prioritization of pensioners' welfare despite other pressing developmental needs.
What you are doing today, sir, Your Excellency, is not just for this crop of officers that served the state meritoriously and retired and then went back home, hoping that one day somebody will pay their you are not doing it for them alone, but you are doing it for all of us that are still in the service.
Governor Aiyedatiwa, who restated his dedication to sustain efforts that prioritize the welfare of every inhabitant of the state, noted that the current disbursement will rekindle hope among pensioners and reassure serving workers that their gratuities will be promptly paid after retirement.
The bulk payment for the 2014 set of pensioners we are flagging off further demonstrates our commitment to the welfare of the elderly and the vulnerable sections of our population in line with our ease policy thrust. Our desire to adopt and religiously apply the year of exiting the public service as the only qualification for bulk payment is to make the payment process transparent, predictable, and to ensure that nobody is discriminated against on account of extrinsic considerations. Most times, our administration feels reluctant to list prompt payment of pension allowances and consequential adjustment thereon as achievements, because we believe strongly that payment of monthly pension to our esteemed senior citizens is both moral obligation and our constitutional duty.
The governor explained that the disbursement followed his administration's structured payment process, which uses the year of exit from public service as the sole qualification criterion to ensure fairness, transparency, and predictability.
Let me also inform you that some legal representative, this next of kin of some workers of the local government service extraction, who lost their lives in a fatal motor accident while on official journey to Ibadan in Oyo State will be handed checks for the terminal benefit of the 3 deceased staff as a way of ameliorating the pains of the sudden departure of their loved ones.
The chairman of the National Union of Pensioners in the state, Johnson Oshunyemi, lauded the governor for restoring dignity to retirees and rekindling their hope. Speaking with newsmen, the permanent secretary, Local Government Pension Transitional Department, Mercy Femi Idris, expressed delight over the milestone achievement under her watch, with special gratitude to Governor Aiyedatiwa.
Retiring on this note, and that it will be the first time a permanent secretary will pay 2 batches. That is 2013 and 2014. Of course, I feel wonderful. Where we would have had challenges, that would have been in the past. After the verification exercise, we now have a database. So what we did was to go through the associations, various associations, like you said, NUP, Association of Retired Teachers, those of the local government, those of Akure South headquarters, and what have you. And then they brought all the approval letters, and then we decided to match with what we have on ground, and that is how we came, to the conclusion that ABC should be paid today.
The beneficiaries lauded the governor for fulfilling their long-awaited dreams.
I thank God for Mr. Governor that the Lord will continue to help him to pay others, and we sustain the state.
The governor has just graciously and magnanimously cleared our gratuity in bulk, not a piecemeal payment. So we appreciate God for using him for what he has done for the retired teachers, in particular in Ondo State.
Their senior citizens promised their continued support for the Aiyedatiwa administration. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
The All Progressives Congress APC in the state has lauded Governor Aiyedatiwa for his commitment to enhancing the welfare of senior citizens and civil servants in the state. The party described the recent disbursement of 1.4 billion naira to retirees as gratuity and other retirement benefits, as well as the prior payment of leave bonuses to serving workers, as encouraging. The APC also stressed that these measures help curb corruption by strengthening confidence in the system. The APC urged retirees to reciprocate by actively supporting government effort, contributing to community development, and offering valuable professional insight for the progress of the state. The House of Representatives has announced plans to wade into the ongoing dispute between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities in a bid to end the 2-week warning strike declared by the union on Monday. This followed a motion moved by a lawmaker representing Badagry Federal Constituency under the All Progressives Congress, Ceci Wingan said the intervention of the Green Chamber's leadership is aimed at finding a permanent resolution to the lingering industrial crisis that has crippled Nigeria's public university system for years. ASUAD on Monday commenced a 2-week nationwide warning strike after the expiration of a 14-day ultimatum issued to the federal government to meet its long-standing demands. In response to the strike, the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, reportedly directed university vice-chancellors to enforce the government no-work, no-pay policy for lecturers participating in the industrial action. Lawmakers say the House leadership will engage both sides in the coming days to prevent a full-blown shutdown of the nation's tertiary institutions. And the National Assembly has proposed shifting Nigeria's next general elections to November 2026, 6 months earlier than the usual February date. The proposal is contained in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025, unveiled during a joint public hearing organized by the Senate and the House Committee on Electoral Matters in Abuja. The bill, which seeks to repeal the 2022 Electoral Act and enact a new Electoral Act 2025, drew lawmakers, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders to the one-day session. According to the draft amendment, elections into the office of the President and Governor of a state shall be held not later than 185 days before the expiration of the term of office of the last holder of their office. The proposed adjustment aims to ensure all election litigations are concluded before the May 29, 2027 handover date. You're still watching the news on Osrc television. We go on a short break. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go anywhere.
When it's bright and early, get your breakfast right. Ding. You need all the nutrients that will hold you tight. Ding. Stay in power, you find it all in peak. Ding. Every move you make, Peak's got you all the way. Ding. And the peak goes on.
Power on every morning with our Peak breakfast to make the most of every day. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. The Akure flyover project, featuring innovative designs and advanced construction techniques, is set to ease severe traffic congestion at the Oyarugbulem axis in Akure South local government area of Ondo State. This ongoing infrastructure represents not just an engineering milestone, but a strong commitment to improving urban mobility, delivering tangible benefits to residents, commuters, and local businesses alike. Joy Pius reports that as the flyover approaches completion, locals are eagerly anticipating smoother journeys and enhanced traffic flow across the city.
The Akure flyover at Oyarugbulem Junction temporarily closed recently for the casting and installation of pre-stressed beams has now reopened, allowing motorists and commuters to pass through with greater ease. This notorious stretch of road, plagued by numerous fatal accidents in the past, is finally getting the upgrade it desperately needs, with construction now at an advanced stage. While the disruptions have tested residents' patience, many agree that the short-time hardships will yield long-term rewards.
This is the first of the kind in Akure. We love it because we are also residing in this area. We love it. It's a very good development. And at the time the work is completed on this flyover, I think it will bring a lot of development.
Ìlọsíwájú ìlú náà ni ara ìlọsíwájú ìlú lélẹ̀ ẹni tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà Ọlọ́run kó fẹ́ràn kẹ́ òun náà tó dẹ̀ parí ẹ̀ náà ilé ayé ẹ̀jẹ̀ náà á tó dá àti àwọn ọmọ àtàwádáwà nínú Ondo State. Ẹni tó bá lọ sọ̀rẹ́ nígbà náà ti ṣe over bridge ọ̀rẹ́ á rí bí ọ̀rẹ́ ṣe rí ẹni tó bá dé ọ̀rẹ́ báyìí ó dàbí small Lagos.
Àǹfààní tó lè mú wa pọ̀ gan rẹpẹtẹ, gbogbo àwọn ṣọ́ọ̀bù tó wà mẹ́rin tẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti tì kálukú máa lọ́jà wọn ta, gbogbo àwọn lọ́jà míì náà wọ́n á dọ́jà lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan tí wọ́n máa rí tọ́rọ́kọ́bọ̀ ń bẹ̀. Tó ara àǹfààní tó lè mú fún àdúgbò nìyẹn tó dẹ̀ lè máa jẹ́ ìlọsíwájú fún wa.
Residents are more optimistic than ever about the project's timely completion.
One, it was closed. They bring a lot of difficulties to those people that are applying this route. But then it's a necessary thing that needs to be taken. But it's for a while, and now it has been open. We are also enjoying it. But the main thing that we are expecting is that for it to be completed, because we know that when it is completed, open up this area, there will be more commercial activities, there will be more development. In fact, going around to bring a lot of transformation.
Bí ìkọ́ dáa náà ṣe gbọ́ ẹ yọkọ̀ ní pọ̀tì kan nú iná ní tí ìtàn ti pa náà wọ́n fi ṣèfù àwọn aráàlú náà ni níṣẹ́ tó ń bá a sí náà ní ìṣàkóso lọ́wọ́ wọn wọ́n wá tètè bá haste rẹ̀ kí yóò tètè parí pé wọ́n promise wa ní January báyìí pé January jọ́nà wọ́n máa sí bíríìjì yìí fún wa ṣojú rẹ̀ àṣìwà ọlọ́jẹ̀ olófà gba ní ẹ̀mí tí yóò ṣojú wa àjọlù pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ ní àti gọ́fìnà wa náà.
Poised for completion soon, the flyover promises to transform the traffic landscape, slashing congestion, minimizing accident risks, and fueling economic growth in the community. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
Meanwhile, residents and motorists plying Ijoka Road in Akure on the state are appealing to the government to rehabilitate the deplorable portions along the route, which have made the daily commuting stressful and unsafe. They acknowledge the ongoing road project across the state capital, but are calling for equal attention to the Ijoka access, which they describe as long neglected. Blessing Obi tells us more.
Across Ondo State, several major roads have either been completed or are currently under construction, clear signs of the government's effort to enhance mobility and boost economic growth. In Akure, the dualization of the Akure to Idore Road is ongoing, while Oda Road has been completed, easing traffic congestion for commuters heading towards the city's outskirts. In the Northern Senatorial District, the rehabilitation of Ikare Township roads is giving the ancient town a facelift, while in the coastal region, construction continues along the Igbokoda axis to improve access and open up riverine communities. However, residents of Ijoka say the development story is incomplete without attention to their own road, which remains in a deplorable state despite its strategic importance. This is Ijoka Road, one of the busiest routes within Akure metropolis, now riddled with potholes, dust, and stagnant water. Motorists, commuters, and residents say what used to be a major access route has become a nightmare, with its worsening condition affecting movement, business, and health. During the rainy season, the situation becomes even more challenging as several sections of the road turn muddy and almost impassable. Ijoka Road connects many communities including Abushoro, Igisogba, and Okeya, serving as a crucial link between inner parts of Akure and adjoining settlements. Although construction work began under the previous administration and continued briefly into the current one, the project has since been abandoned with equipment left idle.
What you see behind me is the daily reality for countless commuters and motorists who plow this road. Each day, they navigate through thick clouds of dust, creating these particles that pose health risks to their lives and also affecting their businesses. And what you see just by the roadside lies the equipment used for road construction. This has been abandoned for long, and now it is covered with dust, leaving many residents wondering what may be happening.
Residents say contractors have not been seen on site for months, leaving them to contend daily with dust, potholes, and deep craters. They are appealing to the government to accord Ijoka Road the same priority as other major projects across the state. Commuters and commercial drivers say the poor condition of the road has forced many taxi operators off the route, leaving tricycles and motorcycles as the main means of transportation. They are calling on the government to urgently revisit and complete the Ijoka Road project to ease movement, boost economic activity, and bring relief to residents.
This road has been awarded from the past government. Since then, the work is just slow down, and we that are living around this place, we are feeling badly. especially the business and everybody. If you are going now, enter Marwa or Okada, it's a lot of up and down.
ọ̀nà yìí ìpalára tá a nínú ẹ̀ kò ṣe díẹ̀ béèyàn wà ní ilé kò safe yàtọ̀ sí pé àárín lórí títì gbogbo aṣọ tó wà ní yàrá ló ti bàjẹ́ wọ́n jọ kọ́kọ́ ló tọ́ lọ́hùn pẹ̀lú wa tó bá dìgbà òjò rẹ́ẹ̀tì tọ́kadà fi bárúwá fi ṣubú bí ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ èèyàn wá fi wá pé kóun fẹsẹ̀ rìn gan pé kóun kú márúwá pé kóun gbọ̀ kadà.
ọ̀nà yìí ló wá láti high court so wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ṣe láti high court òun náà ló lọ sí Ìdànrè so wọ́n ti ṣe parí sí Ìdànrè wọ́n ti ṣe parí sí high court but wọ́n kàn wá sọ wá sáàárín so àwọn èèyàn wá yìn májì pé kí ló lè cause it wọ́n jọ nítorí Ọlọ́run kan bá wa ṣe torí àwọn tí wọ́n ń gba ọ̀nà wọn pọ̀ gan.
For the people of Ijoka, fixing their road will not only bring much needed relief but also reaffirm the government's commitment to balanced and inclusive development across Akure and beyond. Blessing Obe, Osrc News.
President Bola Tinubu has urged West African leaders to push for the designation of resource theft, illegal mining and mineral smuggling as international crimes, saying such acts have become grave threats to regional peace, stability and development. Tinubu made the call in Abuja while declaring open the annual general meeting of the Network of National Anti-Corruption Institutions in West Africa. The president lamented that despite decades of independence, the region's economic and political progress continued to be undermined by corruption and the looting of mineral resources. He said the proceeds of such theft not only deprive citizens of development benefits, but also fund insecurity, the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, banditry and kidnapping across the region. Tinubu urged delegates to examine critically the regional anti-money laundering frameworks, financial intelligence sharing mechanism, and accountability in the extractive sector across the region for a more prosperous and secure future. He stressed that no single country could win the battle against illicit financial flows, noting that the challenge required a multi-state and multi-stakeholders platform to harmonize regional effort against corruption and its manifestation. In health, the World Health Organization WHO has issued an urgent global alert following the discovery of substandard and contaminated oral liquid medicines in India linked to cases of acute illness and child fertilities. The warning outlined in its medical product highlighted three contaminated products called Reef, Respiresh, TR, and Relief, all commonly used to treat symptoms of the common cold, flu, or cough. The products were found to contain diethylene glycol, DEG, a highly toxic substance that can cause serious and potentially fatal health effects, especially in children. The alert follows a report received by WHO on 8 October 2025 from India's Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, confirming DEG contamination in at least 3 batches of oral syrups manufactured by Sersan Pharmaceutical, Rednex Pharmaceuticals, and Shape Pharma. While authorities confirm that there is no evidence of exportation of the contaminated medicines from India, who has urged regulatory bodies worldwide to remain vigilant, especially in monitoring informal or unregulated supply chains, where unsafe products can circulate undetected. On the foreign scene, a momentous breakthrough. That's how U.S. President Donald Trump is describing a declaration made with world leaders aimed at cementing a ceasefire in Gaza. It was signed at the summit in Egypt hours after a long-awaited exchange of Israeli captives and Palestinian prisoners. Adirunke Kolawole has details.
It was a moment to bask in the glory, observing the adoration of world leaders. Donald Trump has delivered a ceasefire in Gaza and they signed a deal to confirm it. He says it's an historic moment which could have lasting consequences.
But the momentous breakthrough that we're here to celebrate tonight is more than the end of the war in Gaza. It's with God's help it'll be the new beginning for an entire beautiful Middle East. From this moment forward, we can build a region that's strong and stable and prosperous and united in rejecting the path of terror once and for all.
More than 20 countries were represented in Sharm el-Sheikh, but American plans to include the Israeli Prime Minister at the last minute reportedly led to threats of a boycott from at least one country, a sign of the level of distrust that has to be overcome. But Trump believes the hard work is done. The short trip to Egypt came after the U.S. president addressed the Israeli parliament. He was given a standing ovation as he arrived and a warm welcome from Benjamin Netanyahu.
Donald Trump is the greatest friend that the state of Israel has ever had in the White House.
For many years, and I've seen
it was an hour-long address which was in turn optimistic, ambiguous, and typical triumphant. He was interrupted, the two lawmakers shouting about a genocide in Gaza, but they were quickly removed, and he offered this to the Palestinians who have lived through 2 years of fear, death, and hunger, and have returned to lives and land devastated.
And the choice for Palestinians could not be more clear. This is their chance to turn forever from the path of terror and violence. It's been extreme, to exile the wicked forces of hate that are in their midst, and I think that's going to happen.
One former Israeli diplomat says Trump has taken the glory. Now he needs to deliver.
Now the hard work starts, and he's not prone to these kind of tedious, lengthy, detail-driven negotiations.
One of the longest handshakes Trump had with world leaders in Egypt was with the Palestinian Authority, President Mahmoud Abbas, a man who has been told by the White House his organization could play a role in the new Gaza if it undergoes significant reforms. Donald Trump has delivered the ceasefire. Now he has to secure it and build on it. The mechanism will be put in place, but the distrust, the problems, they are already there, and they have to be overcome if the peace deal is to work. Aderonke Kolawole, Osrc News.
And now nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees were released by Israel. Several reunions has released Palestinian detainees arrived in the occupied West Bank. There were 7 lengthy sentences and some life terms. They spoke about ill treatment, starvation, and systematic abuse. Kemisola Ojomo tells us more.
Many stories to tell, a lot to catch up on, but first, eggs, eye contact, and a chance to make up for the time lost while waiting. These Palestinians and Ramallah have been released from Israeli prisons as part of the first phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal.
It's like coming from hell to heaven. It's a mixture of feelings that I can't describe. Pain, joy, and strange feelings.
Released prisoners talked about the abuse, violence, pain, and torture they endure in the past 2 years. Some couldn't even speak out of exhaustion. Others fear Israelis' retaliation. Some do not need to speak at all.
Since October 7th, we haven't had any clue how my brother Nazir was. How is his health condition? Does he receive appropriate treatment for him and his condition? Is he taken to the hospital for checkups or provided with the proper medicines? Throughout these 2 years, he has not received any treatment, nothing. It's deliberate negligence by the Israeli prison administration.
Some families learned at the last minute that Israeli forces amended the list of prisoners to be released and that their loved ones will be sent abroad, including the family of prisoner Mohammed Amran. His sister still hoped for a last-minute miracle.
I looked at each and every released prisoner coming out of the bus, but I couldn't find him. They told me that there is one sick man left inside the bus, so I went up, but I couldn't find him.
Mohammed is part of a group of 154 Palestinians who were exiled out of the occupied Palestinian territory. Some new names were added to the exile list after the Israeli National Security Minister demanded it. 2. Any reunion is a good day for this family. Many say if it wasn't for this deal, they might have never been released. They left behind thousands of stories that they hope will also receive the world's attention. Kemisola Ojomu, OSRC News.
And now quickly to this exciting news, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have brightened their chances of playing at the next year's World Cup in the final match day 10 tie decided some few minutes in Oyo. Nigeria defeated Benin Republic by 4-0. Victor Osimhen scored 3 goals while Frank Onyeka got the 4th goal for Nigeria. The victory gives Nigeria the opportunity to play at the playoff with the hope of qualifying for the World Cup. Meanwhile, South Africa defeated Rwanda by 3-0 to qualify for the World Cup. And with that, we conclude the news. But before we go, a quick look at one of the top stories. We told you that the Ondo State government has flagged off the payment of 1.4 billion naira gratuity arrears to pensioners who retired from local government and primary school service in 2014. And that's it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening.